My great-grandmother was a full-blooded Irish woman, and I have a head of red hair to prove it, though less red hair than I used to. I've always had affection for St. Patrick's Day. Unfortunately, the holiday now has very little to do with Ireland and even less to do with St. Patrick himself. So how exactly does a Baptist celebrate a traditionally Catholic holiday whose primary ritual is the inordinate consumption of green beer? What if St. Patrick's Day has more meaning than shamrocks and parades? What is the true meaning of the holiday? Here's a crazy thought. What if St. Patrick's Day were about disciple making? There's some debate about what the historic St. Patrick did and didn't do. Unfortunately, he probably did not drive all the snakes out of Ireland. But according to his own autobiography, when he was just 16 years old, he was kidnapped by Irish pirates and taken from his home in Britain. Fun fact, I'm actually more Irish than St. Patrick, because he wasn't actually Irish, he was Romo-British. He was kidnapped, sent to Ireland, and forced to work as a slave. Patrick lived like that for 6 years before finally escaping and returned to his family. Now he could have kicked back and just enjoyed a new life in his homeland. But instead, Patrick developed a burden for the people who had mistreated him. At the time, the people from whom I descend were noted for their cruelty and barbarism. They were polytheistic idol worshippers who practiced very ungodly, perverted rituals, not unlike those of the ancient Canaanites. But Patrick saw them not as enemies, but as sinners who needed Christ. And so he left that which was safe and familiar to him and returned to Ireland to preach the gospel. And the rest is, quite literally, history. God used Patrick's disciple making to transform the Emerald Isle forever. When Patrick was taken to Ireland as a slave, Ireland was a pagan, polytheistic culture. When he died in Ireland as a missionary, Ireland was a Christian, monotheistic culture. For me, that's what St. Patrick's Day represents. It's a tribute to a godly man who took real risks to serve those who hated him. It's a celebration of the success of the Great Commission and the power of God to save sinners and transform communities. It's a reminder that just as God used Patrick to build his church in 5th century Ireland, he can use us to build his church in 21st century America. So as you put on your green sweater this St. Patrick's Day, take a moment and celebrate disciple making.